there, Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson. Tracie Miller, what do you think about that?
I think love is wonderful when it's in the air, and wherever we can find it.
That is right. She is Grief Support Manager at FairHope Hospice and Palliative Care. They are located in Lancaster, but do you have sites in other places as well, Tracie?
Our primary office is in Lancaster, but we also have an office in Logan. So
You
that
do?
if anybody needs support services for our grief support programming, they are welcome to come to our Logan office. And we also use that as a satellite location for our staff who work in that area.
All right. We are going to have a great time today, and we're going to share with you some very important things. Something happened to me in the grocery store. It was a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and I did the self-checkout. I had only a couple of items, and I'm standing there as I'm checking my stuff out, and usually there are people in line, so self-checkout, you want to just get your stuff, get it going, pay for it, and go. Well, I had this gal who I was kind of in one of the middle ones, and she was in the one register on the end. And as she was doing her self-checkout, she had one of the little mini smaller carts. It had wheeled back into my space. I saw it, no big deal. I was like, oh, and she turns around and her cart is completely empty at this point. And she just kind of says to me, without really looking at me, she says, I'm just having a really, really tough day. I go, oh, it's okay. I saw it was rolling back. It was, no big deal. And she said, well, I had to work I thought I had to work in Lancaster today, but then I had to go to Columbus, and traffic was just awful. Mind you, she's not having a conversation. She is doing her thing with her groceries. And I go, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And she says, and I have a funeral that I'm planning all by myself. And that's when I kind of stopped in my tracks, and I'm thinking, okay, because I'm cashing out here in the self-checkout once again. And she says, and I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to tell my 3-year-old that she's never going to see her grandma again. I kind of really stopped in my tracks at that point, because I did say to her, I go, I'm really, really sorry to hear that you're going through that. And she just packed up, and then she was gone in like less than 30 seconds. I finished doing what I was doing, and I went out to my car, and I sat in my car, and I cried. I cried because I thought, was there something more that I could have done for this woman, this stranger that I don't know? Could I have said something more? Could I have offered something? And it was just kind of just so quick. And then I started crying for her little girl, and I was crying for her telling her little girl that, she's not going to see her grandma. Now, my grandmother, she had passed away when I was in my 20. I think I was like 20 years old. And I still have a tough time. And so, and again, I'm thinking to myself, here's this woman planning a funeral for her mother, Tracie. Mm-hmm. So I called Tracie up at FairHope Hospice and Palliative Care to find out if she would be a guest on my show. Oh my goodness, Tracie. And I thought, let's talk about this. It's inevitable. It's going to happen to us. It's going to happen to a loved one, unfortunately. What can we do? What are some of the things to help get through those tough days, those tough times?
Well, we appreciate you reaching out to us. For those who do not know, we offer grief support services to our community free of charge. You do not have to have had a loved one on our hospice service to get our grief support services.
Nice.
And they are offered for children and adults. Okay. And to answer your question, what could you have done? I think you actually did a beautiful moment for her. You acknowledged that she had a valuable statement to say. You gave her recognition. You gave her a moment to pause. You were present. The other piece that I think sometimes we forget is important for us to be able to speak the words. I have to plan a funeral. I have to tell someone my grandmother died, her grandmother died, because you have to practice it to be able to make it real. Okay. And you gave her a place of safety.
Oh, thank you.
And the number one factor that anytime we experience the death of a loved one is our sense of trust is somewhat shattered. So for her to be able to trust someone that she didn't know, you must have given her a welcoming presence, a welcoming smile to make her feel comfortable in sharing that. And she spoke the words that she needed to do to move on to the next task.
And that's exactly what it was. It was just like she was gone, but I thought I could have done so much more. But thanks to you guys, I get to do so much more because I get to have folks like you on here to talk about that. What do you tell your loved ones, or what can you do for a loved one, maybe the first step in helping them to grieve in the grieving process?
I think the first thing that you need to recognize is you can't do the grieving for them. So as much as we want to take away someone's pain, I think the most that we can do is be honest. I work primarily with children, but I think we need to let everybody know the truth of the situation and to say, grandma died, grandpa died, let people know at their level what they can do. I also think that you need to give them space to feel the emotions.
Okay.
And the one piece that we don't need to do is we don't need to fix them. The most that we want to do is we want to try to take away their pain. But I always say that grief needs to be supported, but not suppressed.
Okay.
And so if you actually happen to come into our office, which is located on the grounds of FairHope's Pickering House, we will not hand you a tissue if you're crying. We will put the box in front of you, but we will let you grab the tissue because we want you to cry. We want you to have what we call a grief burst. We want you to be able to do that. So the first step is to make yourself present, make them know that you are there. When I'm working with someone, especially children, I let them know that their loved one's body died, but their loved one's love is forever.
Oh, I love that.
So I separate it out. For example, I was out in an area school today, and I mentioned, I know your dad's body died, but I know that his love is forever. So we could talk about what happened with the body. That way you can be upset at the disease or the incident that occurred, but you can still love the person. And that is one big factor in what we do.
Oh, I love that. I love that you do it in that way. What are some of the other creative ways that you guys at FairHope in the grief support help?
We have a range of services for our children. Our program is called the PALS program, which stands for Peace, Acceptance, Love, and Support. Here in Fairfield County, we work with Lancaster City Schools and Fairfield Union Schools, and we provide support within the school free of charge to the district. We also provide support at our center, which again is on the grounds of the Pickering House at the Anita M. Turner Center. For adults in our community, we actually have 2 drop-in groups. You do not have to register for those. On Tuesday mornings, we run one from 10:30 to noon, and then on Thursday afternoons from 12:30 to 2. And you do not have to have a certain type of loss to attend the group. You are welcome to come and listen, welcome to participate. And then we also offer support in our offices themselves. We are blessed to have offices that look out onto the trees. When Denise Bauer had the vision for the building, we asked Denise if we could look out onto the trees. So we get to see the deer, we get to see the birds, and so we give a welcoming sense for people to come in.
I'm sure it's not easy having the job that you have, but what is it that fulfills your heart the most in what you do?
For me, my background was as a speech therapist in the public schools, and at Clear Creek in Lancaster City. That job, my goal was to make sure that children were heard. It's the same thing now. I just want to make sure that children have a voice in the process, that they know that they are special and they matter. And that's the same for any age of people that we work with.
Does it also help with them in writing and drawing and things like that when it comes to emotion with young kids? We
will use art. We will do, one of the projects I do a lot is have kids decorate pillowcases. We will have them do anything that they can, poems, music, art, any way to get their message heard and their voice heard.
Okay, and you have a camp?
We have a camp that will be coming up July 18th of 2020, and that will be from 8:30 to 2:30 or 2 p.m., and that will be held on the grounds of the Pickering House. And during that, we will be working with pet therapy, music therapy, and art expression. So,
what are the age groups for that?
And that one is going to be for children who are entering kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay, and is this for children who have had a loved one pass within the last year of that time?
Actually, we do not go on a time frame, surprisingly. So it can be at any point in the journey because the pain is felt at any point.
That's right. Tracie, for folks to know exactly and remind them where things are, do you have a website that they can go to?
Yes, you can reach us at fairhopehospice.org. Our phone number is 740-654-7077. And we are located at 282 Sells Road here in Lancaster.
Thank you so much for being with me, Tracie. And folks, don't go anywhere. I have got another amazing guest who he became blind as an adult. He is one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. I met him through other friends, so we have mutual friends. And because it's Valentine's Day, he has written something special for his wife who will not be able to hear this until she sees this. And so I'm really excited because I thought she was going to be the one to come with him, but she wasn't. So she knows nothing about it. So that's going to be part of my Valentine special, as well as he has had some friends who wrote to him about how he's inspired them, even though he's gone through some times and challenges. I'll be back. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have got a gentleman here that the first time I met him, I don't know if he remembers this, it was at some mutual friends, the Walters, for a football game. I believe that's the first time we had met.
Yep.
He and his wife, Sharon, she was there and a whole bunch of us, and we were cheering on, of course, the good old Buckeyes.
Right, that's right.
And so anyways, I met Chris then, and he was just somebody that you go, oh my goodness, he is such a cool guy. And then as time went on, because that was, I think, about a year ago at that game, a little over a year ago, and time went on, our paths continued to cross a little more, and just recently I've got to see him a little more so, and I thought to myself a couple days ago, he is such an inspiration. He is so positive. He laughs, he's funny, so humorous, and I thought, I think he would be a great person to highlight on my show. So just a few days ago, as I thought of this, I got a hold of, who did I get a hold of? I got a hold of a friend of mine, mutual friends, who gave me Sharon's number. So I called Sharon, and they agreed, he did, to be on here with me today. And stick around, folks, because it is a Valentine's Day special, and Chris did write a nice poem to his wife.
No.
You didn't know that's what it was for?
Well, not really. No.
Okay. Are you okay with me reading it?
Yes, it's as I think.
I thought Judy told you.
Well, she didn't. She gave me just a tidbit of information.
See what happens? She's a sister-in-law. Judy is Sharon's sister. And I called Judy up. And I go, oh my goodness, Judy, I have an idea. And I said, this is my Valentine show that I've got going on. And she goes, okay. I go, but you can't talk to Chris with Sharon around because she can't know about this. So we were being sneaky, but I didn't realize that she didn't tell you. She's so funny. I love Judy.
Yep, she's a card.
She's a card. So Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself, would you?
Okay. Born right here in Lancaster, Ohio, and I grew up right across the street from your studio in that subdivision across the street there, and graduated from Lancaster High School in '74. So played football and just enjoyed the town. It's changed quite a bit since I graduated and moved on. I now live in Pickerington, Ohio.
Yeah.
And for 32 years. We just bought a new house. So
congratulations.
Yeah, we're looking to move to Canal, and got a nice little ranch with a walkout, so we're excited about that. Yeah. It's going to be a big change for me, but
yeah.
Did
you have you always made friends easily, Chris?
I think so, Tina. I was blessed with two wonderful parents that were very involved in the community, and my father was a larger than life. My daughter would say that's because he's a Leo. She's into astrology. So,
she is.
Yeah, she's into astrology. Almost certified.
I'm a Taurus. What are you, Chris?
I am a Virgo.
We should get along. I think so. Yeah, I think we'll get along.
He was very gregarious.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah, and my mother was a nurse, so she just passed on last October. But one of her in the obit, it said something about her. She probably stuck you with a needle sometime in your life if you lived in Lancaster. She liked to give flu shots, and was good at that.
Help keep people healthy. That's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. That's right.
So share with folks what happened to you. I don't even know how long ago was it.
It was almost 6 years ago on May 31st, 2000. It was May 31st of 14.
Okay.
Yeah, motorcycle accident, and it's not good when two motorcycles are heading towards each other on a curvy road in Hocking County.
No. Yeah.
And my good friend Kevin was behind me, and he said that I got up close to the center line, and I came back, and we're on a steep right-hand curve, and next thing you know, here come a motorcycle the opposite direction.
Oh.
So I guess, thank goodness, it wasn't a truck.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
true, yeah.
But I'm blessed to be here. I apparently hit the windshield and cut my temporal artery.
Okay.
And landed on the pavement, and did not have a helmet on. I took one with me,
No.
but it was a 95-degree beautiful day, and nobody had one on, and I thought, I'm taking mine off too. And the other folks, he broke his leg, so thankfully they're fine. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, I was dealt a deck of cards here with my sight gone, but we'll see. It's still, there's nothing out there for humans to yet regenerate the optic nerve, because apparently me hitting the pavement,
That's what damaged
the optic nerve. And believe it or not, there was a fellow on the other group, and he must have been military, because he came off of that bike apparently and took me to the ground, because I tried to stand up and walk.
Really?
Yes, and he must have been adrenaline, of course, but he knocked me down.
Oh, yeah. Well, he probably knew that you shouldn't be walking, because if you went back down again, I mean.
Right, and I'm bleeding. So
Yeah.
he held my temporal artery until the Life Flight folks came, and I took
Oh my gosh,
I took a
Chris.
nice $30,000 helicopter to OSU Hospital. So, yeah.
Wow.
Of course, the insurance picked that up, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up at OSU and in ICU for a couple weeks, where it was, I guess, hit or miss on whether I was going to be around or not. And then in
Yeah.
rehab for about a month and a half
Yeah.
at Dodd Hall at OSU. And just amazing people. I'm glad they, thanked everyone for keeping me alive, and went through therapy pretty well. And
What keeps your spirits up, Chris?
boy, that's a good question. I guess, Tina, again, it's the way I was raised. I choose to be happy.
Amen.
Because I said to myself, I'm going to be the best blind guy I can be. If I'm going to be blind, I'm going to be the best guy I can be. And
Aw.
yeah, so
Well, you have that about you, have that aura, that energy, that when people are around you, that's what you I think bring.
well, in this whole world is everything around us is energy, right? It's
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
And I've got a good friend that I used to work with, a coworker in Chicago, very compassionate, unbelievable. Used to send me a card once every other month or so, and Sonia is her name, and she'd say, Chris, checking in, wanted to see how you're doing. Why don't you meet this pranic healer of mine? Ruby is her name, and I think she's from India. And believe it or not, Tina, she'll FaceTime with me, and she'll do like a little. She doesn't say a whole lot. It's kind of like a spiritual session where we'll and it's all energy healing.
Yeah.
And
Does it lift your spirits?
it does. I
good.
enjoy it. It makes me, and I believe that if something makes you feel good, you do it, right?
Yep.
Massages and
Yeah. That's it's Valentine's Day week, you guys. Chris is saying this is what you need to do for yourself,
there
right?
you go.
Is
That's
do
right.
something nice and
That's
enjoyable
right.
and fun.
No.
Aw. What a lot of big changes have happened, but what we're going to do is we're going to come back because we're going to take a break, and I'm going to read a couple of letters to Chris and also highlight him a little more. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean, this past year I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house, and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. Chris Kraft is my guest, and I'm highlighting him as an inspirational individual. I don't know what it is about Chris, but you just look at him and you want to smile because he always seems to have a smile. He became blind after a motorcycle accident, as he had shared in the last segment, but he said, and well, I quote you correctly, if I'm going to be blind, I'm going to be the best blind man I can be.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's
and I
right.
thought that is awesome. So, Chris, I've got a couple of letters I want to read to you that we had asked. Me and, is it Juju?
Juju, that's
I
my
love
sister-in-law.
That's right. We kind of work together.
That's right.
And getting. And this one is from John. Okay?
Okay.
I've known Chris for a while. He worked with me as a lineman for the telephone company. I've always thought highly of him, even when I was yelling and throwing my hard hat. LOL.
He was good at that.
He was the best hard hat thrower, huh?
Right.
I had always thought that he would be my boss one day, and he did. He was the manager over the training center, and I was one of the instructors. He was a good manager. He even drinks fancy coffee. When he had his accident, I offered to take him to the gym. So eventually he called me. And ever since, we've been like the odd couple. Little does he know how much he has helped me. I've had some hard times with being divorced twice and having to deal with PTSD. I needed something to help me. He is very sociable, which means I would have to be. He never quits on anything, except I can't get him to do 4 sets.
Oh, John. See how you are.
And John is, of course, with him today. He is always doing things so he can help, like laundry, housework, helping move things, and a lot more. He has helped me be around people, which is one of my biggest problems. I think he helps me more than I help him. I love him like a brother. He is a great guy and friend.
Oh.
So there's that one.
Thank you, John.
Tina cries.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. And then here's this one. And I have no idea why I don't have a name on this, so we'll have to find out later.
Okay.
You might be able to figure this one out.
Okay.
If somebody doesn't like Chris Kraft, they are immediately under suspicion with me.
Oh.
Chris's attitude toward life, his personality, and his disposition have always the kind that make you want to be around him. I have long sought his company. When Chris had his accident, a lot of things changed for him, even his attitude. I didn't think it was possible for his already incredibly positive attitude to improve, but I believe it did. He has simply refused to let that event drag him down. He does have support. He is blessed with an incredible wife and 2 daughters, and all of 3 are as lovely on the inside as they are on the outside.
Amen.
Not to mention 2 fine sons-in-law and 5 grandchildren. Then there are the large number of other in-laws and friends that care a great deal about him. When I saw Chris in the intensive care unit following the accident, I was worried that he would ever regain consciousness, let alone be able to function. A police officer who was at the scene said that he couldn't believe he lived through it. I contend that only a small percentage of people would have what it takes to make it through what he went through. I also think that the Lord didn't want to bring him home yet. He knew that the rest of us had more to learn from Chris and Sharon.
Oh.
My guess is that Chris had tough days from time to time, and that Sharon probably has days that she feels overwhelmed. But man, it sure is hard to tell. Chris is on a mission to be the best blind person he can be. That is awesome. He works hard to be as self-sufficient as possible. He doesn't like the thought of being a burden. He is open to do about anything that is feasible. He golfs, goes to sporting events, wrestles with his grandkids, and the list goes on and on. If you are someone that believes in prayer, please continue to lift up the Crafts when you do. I could keep going, but let me close by saying that it's an honor for me to be friends with Chris.
Oh.
I think he is remarkable. Wow. I know I don't have a name on that one. I was like,
Dave
look at my
Young.
email. Okay, so I'm going to present this to you, and then we're going to end our segment, Chris, with the poem to your lovely wife, Sharon, who she is.
Okay.
She's another one who's just like a bright flower of sunshine.
She really
that's
is.
Smiling all the time. I mean, all the time. It's
Joyous
just, you guys
energy.
are perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. So I want to give you a few gifts, and you may want to treat her with these or for yourself. So I do have a gift certificate for $40 at Ireland's Spa
Wow.
and Salon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, here, do you want to hold that there?
Sure.
And then Ava Jewelers is a gift card for jewelry at Ava's beautiful, unique jewelry store downtown.
Okay. So I can get my nails done and
A new diamond ring.
a new diamond ring.
And then a new pair of boots if you want over at Walker Shoe Center for a
Wow.
$30 certificate. So that is for
Holy
you as
moly.
well. And then I've got cookies for you guys. So I hope you love cookies.
Wow.
And then I just keep going. I'm not letting you talk, am I?
My New Year's resolution is to lose a little weight, Tina. So
Well, you know what's funny is out of my group of cookies, I got 6 in yours because I figured you'd need to share it with
there
Sharon.
you go.
So
Yeah,
I usually
absolutely.
give only 3, so I even gave you more.
Oh,
so.
good. All
I'm
right.
sorry. Okay, so we've got this beautiful poem. Are you ready for me to read it?
Sure.
Okay. Are you sure?
I was a little rushed because I didn't expect it to, and Valentine's Day is usually the time that it's to be ready for, and it's usually a little more comedic, but I was in a loving, romantic, sappy
Well, love
mood.
is in the air. We've got hearts
That's right.
here, and it's in the air because it's Valentine's.
That's
And
right.
I just have to tell you, when I got this letter and I read it, I'm walking through the River Valley Mall, and tears are flowing down my face.
quit
Flowing
it.
down my face. No. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I needed
Whoops.
a tissue. I was a hot mess. So it's beautiful. This is from, can I say your nickname? Can I say how you signed it?
Sure.
I love it. Scooby. Etched in my mind for the rest of my life, this beautiful girl I now call my wife. For me, it started at Kenny's one warm summer night. That long blonde hair and smile so bright. Her blue eyes sparkled. I tried to calm down. This was my shot. Don't look like a clown. With no commitments, we started to date. 40 years later, I'm blessed with this fate. 2 beautiful daughters, full of energy and zest. 5 amazing grandkids. Yes, we are blessed. Joy and laughter most all of our years. We are dancing through life with very few tears. Dear Scrappy, with love for the 40th time, my heart still yearns for my sweet Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day. With love, Scooby. Happy Valentine's Day! I love it. Chris Kraft, amazing guy. If you ever see him out, just thank him for his awesome positive energy.
Absolutely.
I'll be back. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the high school football game of the week. I'm Jaron Stewart alongside Tim Shoemaker. Tonight, we've got a great one for you. The Bloom Carroll Bulldogs.
We had a great week of practice. Even in the rain and the weather, we had a great week of practice.
Schneider, lots of running room to midfield. He's gone. Ron Schneider down the near sideline for a touchdown for the Aces.
We have a hold on the offense, number 20. That penalty will be declined. They'll bring up 4th down.
We're going to give you this game ball here because you're a Tiberios fan of the game, and thanks for being here, Jacob.
Thank you.
The Polar Bears are your OAC tournament champions, first time since 2009. What an exciting finish for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears.
And be very proud of this trophy because you've earned it.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. Down Home with Tina is brought to you by Ava Jewelers, Fairfield Area Humane Society, Huddle Tire Company, Ireland's Spa and Salon, and also Walker Shoe Center. I just want to thank those folks for giving me this opportunity, and I also want to thank you for watching. You can check us out on Spectrum 1021, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. The YouTube, CLN, Your Hometown Connection, and my Facebook at Down Home with Tina. Really quick before I go, folks, I'm doing something special for my mom and dad for Valentine's this year. I found these little books that I just thought I would kind of give an idea for you. They're little books that say, what I love about mom. And then the other one says, what I love about dad. The bottom of it says, by me. Inside, you fill out little things about them. I know my age, some people will go, huh? But I just think that it's important, mom and dad, they know that we love them. And let them know how important that they are, even as we become adults. So I'm hoping it'll put a smile on their face. So even if you write a little letter about some things that you love about them, I'm sure it'll be just as fine. Thanks for watching this week's Down Home with Tina. Happy Valentine's Day.